And we just saw some engines go out. It looks like we are losing attitude control of the ship. So we're still getting video down from the ship. You can see we've lost several engines and we've lost attitude control of the vehicle.
The technical term for that is whoops. That's the incredible footage after SpaceX Starship disintegrated just minutes after lifting off from Texas on its 8th test flight. The rocket program aims to take humans to Mars, Musk calling the event only a minor setback. But it's not all bad news on the space front. SpaceX Crew 10 will soon start preparing for their launch to the International Space Station. President Trump is vowing to bring home that pair of stranded astronauts who've been stuck in space for nearly a year now. The president giving the two a message, telling them that help is on the way. Listen.
I'm sure that they will see this in space. What is your message?
We love you, and we're coming up to get you, and you shouldn't have been up there so long. The most incompetent president in our history has allowed that to happen to you, but this president won't let it happen. We're going to get them out. We're coming up to get you. I've authorized Elon. I said, can you get them out? Because, you know, they've been left up there.
President Trump isn't the only one who thinks there has been negligence. The teen daughter of stranded NASA astronaut Barry Wilmore says virtually the same. Listen.
And he's missed out on a lot. It's less the fact that he's up there sometimes, it's more the fact of why. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of things that I'm not at liberty to say and that I don't know fully about, but there's been issues, there's been negligence.
You wonder what she has in mind. Taylor, we should specify, by the way, that the rocket that blew up is not the same rocket that would be used in the attempt to get the stranded astronauts. Different space vehicle. But having said that, it's the same company. And I'm just wondering, would that give you pause?
No.
I mean, if you were slated to go up and rescue those two in a mission, would the fact that two rockets now back-to-back have blown up give you any pause?
No, you know, because there's no one I trust more to do this than Elon Musk. And I love that saying that it's not if you fail, it's how you respond to failure. SpaceX tweeted something similarly. They said, with a test like this, success comes from what we learn. Today's flight will help us improve Starship's reliability. They go on to talk about how they successfully recaptured the rocket's booster with the chopsticks.
They did do that, yeah.
Which is so crucial for sort of the long-term viability economically and reusability. Did you guys ever watch that 2022 Netflix documentary, Return to Space?
I sure did, yeah. It was great.
It brought tears to my eyes. It is about the public support for going to space was in the dumps. We were canceling the shuttle program. It was after, was it Challenger blew up? Nobody wanted to go to space. Elon Musk put every cent he had on the line. And he said, I'm going to do this because I believe in going to space. And it wasn't the first or the second or the fifth, maybe the eighth, correct me if I'm wrong, that he was finally successful. And it was that final flight where he looked to his crew and he said, I have no money left. This is it. If this one fails, I'm out because I've put everything out. The bankers calling on me to repay the loans. I can't repay anything. And it worked. And it was only until that last one, and it took him many, but when it worked, it worked. But every failure along the way, he was able to learn, and they tweaked a little chip here and a bolt here and a nut there, and they were finally able to do it. I should be a spokesperson for the documentary.
I've got goosebumps right now. The story is amazing.
But it's because you learn from failure, and I loved it. So I have total confidence.
Yeah, you know, this brings me, brought out my thinking about the way that Trump, during his State of the Union, mentioned putting a man on Mars, and you had all these glum Democrats just sitting back and saying, not clap. Of course, they didn't clap at anything.
Not for anything.
But the point is, JFK, when JFK back in the 60s said that he was going to put a man on the moon, people didn't say, oh, you'll never do that. That's never. Everybody was excited about it. You know, for all the down things that Trump has to deal with now, dealing with Bidenomics, dealing with the wars, et cetera, I mean, he's putting forth a sort of positive view of what America can do in the world, whether it's rescuing astronauts that are stuck or putting somebody on Mars.
Yes, and if the onus were entirely on the federal government, it would be an impossibility. But you have to remember, at that point, we were in a race for world domination with the Soviets, and we had to beat them. Our nation coalesced around the young president and that idea. But now the fact that you have a public-private partnership and you've got the private actors in a race with each other, that will definitely be the biggest benefit to space technology that we have ever seen. And it's actually, you know, people make fun of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and the Virgin guy with the fun accent.
Richard Branson.
Exactly right.
I don't think he's a virgin. I'm just saying it.
For
I don't think
swinging their space sausages, but them doing that in the private sphere will benefit us all in the long run. And like Taylor, I'm a big believer that space exploration will increase innovation and it will save humanity.
And Heather, you were talking about blockchain technology. I mean, this is light years ahead of blockchain technology, you know, literally.
100%. And going back to what I think it was the daughter, she said, there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of things I'm not at liberty to say. Why not? Why is space political? NASA shouldn't be political. I mean, is it going with SpaceX? Yes, owned by Elon Musk, who has inserted himself into politics, you could argue to some extent, but the actual company and the vision of Taylor, what you outlined, and yes, you should be the spokesperson, that should not be political. I wonder, what is she not at liberty
I'm just wondering if it has anything to do with the suggestion that Biden didn't work faster on the rescue because of Musk. Do you think that was
100%
that's possible?
That he didn't do anything
because of the politics of putting Musk in charge.
That's what Musk said on Joe Rogan. He went on the record and said that because he'd already backed Trump at that point. So if Biden had said, Elon, go get them, it would have made Kamala Harris look even worse, which is a difficult task.
Brian, before we went on, you said to me that this is the most exciting topic. I want to deal with it first, but I saved you for last. Just because I wanted to build up your enthusiasm
my engineering background, my rocket science background. I'm actually, Taylor, your speech was so beautiful and profound.
Thank you.
And I just want to add, not only did they learn something, but Musk is saying they're going to go back and do this again in like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people who are not afraid of failure. They're not afraid of adventure. They're not wimps. They're not bureaucrats. They're people who want to press the boundaries of what humans can achieve. And I just feel like for too long in America, we've been living in this, like, we've got to be scared and we've got to be afraid and don't try anything and the world's closing in on us. And we have people now who are saying, let's expand our world and what we know. And I think that's good for the human soul in America, which is at the heart of, I think, a lot of what's going on right now.
By the way, David McCullough, the great historian, one of his last books, I don't think it was the last book, was called The Pioneers. And it was talking about U.S. pioneers going west. West to them was going to Ohio, by the way. But it was an extraordinary book, and it gets right to your point. That's why what you said was so moving for all of us, because the fact is that this country was built by pioneers. I know the DEI folks and everybody are saying how terrible it was. No, it was wonderful. And a lot of them, by the way, worked very closely with the indigenous people here in the United States to get done what they needed to get done. And we did create this fantastic place, and now we could do the same in space.
Yes. Going to Mars.
You think
he
it's gonna
said
happen?
we're going to plant the stars and stripes on planet Mars.
And all Elon has to do is maybe explore celibacy for a little bit and refocus on Doge
I wouldn't
and
bet
SpaceX.
on it. I wouldn't bet on it.
That will save humanity.
I'd rather bet on the Doge surplus than that.